President Donald Trump has now agreed to meet with Russian Premier Vladimir Putin in Alaska. I don't know when the date is coming up soon, but Donald Trump, who has promised over and over again, remember he was going to fix that shit on day one. I was going to tell Putin to knock it out, knock it off, or I'm going to do something really dastardly. Well, old Vlad, he does not seem to give two shits about your idle threats because he knows you ain't gonna do nothing, bud. He knows you. He knows you're a bitch. He's got you wrapped around his little finger, and you know it. Anyway, the idea that he was going to just have a meeting with Putin did not settle well with with NATO, who has been promising to back Zelenskyy in, just in case Donald Trump cuts off their funding. NATO has promised to back Zelenskyy. I don't know. They don't have the money that we do, so they won't be able to back him as much. And Zelenskyy, sure as shit, does not want Donald Trump and Putin meeting on American soil to decide the fate of his country and him not being there. So NATO has said they were going to sponsor him to get him to go and be able to sit at that table and talk with Donald Trump and Putin. And of course, then Donald Trump is like, well, maybe we'll let him tag along. Anyway, we got him here. Let's see what he's got to say. It's the guy does not really mince his words very much. He just kind of says his fascism right out loud.
Bring to meet.
President Putin, I believe, wants to see peace, and Zelenskyy wants to see peace. Now, President Zelenskyy has to get all of his everything he needs because he's going to have to get ready to sign something, and I think he is working hard to get that done.
Yeah, he's going to sign something, man, that's going to give a big chunk of his country to Russia. I mean, if you remember back in 2014, Russia took Crimea, which is part of Ukraine. And nothing was done about it, and they were allowed to annex that piece of Ukraine. And then under Joe Biden in his first year, Russia invaded. They were the invaders. They did the invading. It was right in front of all of us. We saw it all unfold. Even though Republicans are now trying to rewrite history and saying, that they were provoked or that Zelenskyy did it or yada, yada, yada. Honey, it was Putin. It was Russia that did the invading. They surrounded the country and then they invaded. But anyway, here he is going, he's going to have to sign something, you got to make a deal somehow. So here's the deal. I know that he took Crimea and now he wants to take more land. So I want you to sign this document saying, hey, it's going to be okay. And then, of course, the thing is that, we're going to have in writing that Putin is not going to invade and take more territory. Well, who's going to fucking stop him? They obviously didn't stop him on the first one. They didn't stop him on this one because now Donald Trump is going to have him sign away a third of his country to Russia. What's going to stop him on the third time? We're going to talk about Lindsey Graham in a minute, but Lindsey Graham is basically saying, well, if they do it for a third time, then there's going to be some consequences. Remember George W. Bush is like, fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me. You ain't going to fool me again. Well, here we are getting ready to get fooled for a second time, and Donald Trump is just allowing it to fucking happen.
Trump suggests a deal would involve exchanging territory.
We're actually looking to get some back and some swapping. It's complicated. It's actually nothing easy. It's very complicated.
It's very complicated because you don't fucking understand it. And we're going to start talking. This is going to be a new talking point. Land swapping. What kind of fucking Orwellian shit is land swapping? What crevice of your ass did you pull that out of? There's no land swapping. You are wanting Zelenskyy to give a portion of your country to Russia for quote unquote peace that will not be peace when Putin wants more of Ukraine. He will surround the country again and take it because he knows that he's got Donald Trump in his corner that's willing to give it to him. land swapping. Fuck off.
But we're going to get some back. We're going to get some.
Who's we?
Some switched. There'll be some swapping of.
There's no swapping, honey. He's not going to get a piece of fucking Moscow. There's no land swapping here. It's just giving a portion of your country to the country that invaded you.
Territories to the betterment of both.
Ukraine's Zelenskyy rejecting the suggestion of swapping territory, saying in a statement overnight, Ukraine is ready for real solutions that can bring peace. Any solutions that are against us, any solutions that are without Ukraine, are at the same time solutions against peace. Critics calling the summit a gift to Putin.
When is that motherfucker gonna die of cancer, man? Seriously. Didn't he have cancer recently?
Accusing him of stalling as the war drags on.
Putin is stringing along Trump and playing America for a fool.
Now, President Trump had initially pushed for Ukraine's Zelenskyy to also be included in this meeting, but now he's moving ahead with just Putin. Meanwhile,
isn't that great, man? We're going to make a deal, a peace deal without the country that got fucking invaded. What kind of sense does that make? I mean, it doesn't have to make sense in the world that we're living in today, but I mean, it's just patently ridiculous. We're going to do a peace deal without the country that got invaded.
While the Kremlin has accepted these talks in Alaska, and they've already invited President Trump for a meeting next in Russia. Gio?
No matter what happens, it would be a summit that the world is watching. All right.
Yeah, okay, man. Doesn't he look really serious in his spotted blue tie? All right, I told you about Lindsey Graham here. He's on Meet the Press, and he gets asked about this, and he does not give a very good answer.
And Ukrainian needs to end this war honorably, and it's time to end this war honorably. But how we do it will be historical, and I'm confident President Trump will.
It's up to Zelenskyy to, allow this peace to happen just as long as he's willing to give a piece of his country to the foreign invader.
Get a good deal for all.
So, Senator Graham, you take me to my next question. Let's talk about the red lines and what a good deal would look like. Yeah. Let's look at the map right now, Senator, there. This is a map.
Take a look at it. That red is, here's Crimea right here. This is the chunk that Russia is occupying at the moment, and they just want it. It's like, okay, well, we're here now. It's ours now. And Donald Trump's like, well, I mean, we need some peace. I'm tired of funding this thing, I mean, might as well just go ahead and give it to him. I mean, hell, he's a good guy. He rules his country with an iron fist, and that's kind of how I want to do it in America. So, got to make peace, and if peace means breaking a few eggs, we're going to have to break some Ukrainian eggs.
Map of Ukraine, you can see the areas in red currently under Russian control. Now, President Trump this week didn't rule out Ukraine having to give up some of its territory, something the Ukrainians have rejected. Do you believe that Ukraine should sign a deal that includes giving up any part of their territory, Senator?
Well, think about East Berlin and West Berlin as a way a conflict can be settled, at least for.
Okay, that right there is just alarming. Oh my God. Think about East Berlin and West Berlin. It worked out great, man. It was only an occupation for like fucking 25 years. Yeah, it worked out great as a nice little bit of peace. Next thing you know, he's going to be making the comparison to North Korea and South Korea and how well that's worked out. They're on tenuous ground for decades, pointing missiles at each other. But yeah, let's make it work like that. That sounds like a great idea.
For a period of time. North Korea and South Korea is in a state of truce. There's never been a final settlement. But I come on your show a good bit. I want to be honest with you. Ukraine's not going to evict every Russian, and Russia's not going to Kyiv. So there'll be some land swaps at the end.
Land swaps. They keep saying this as if I'm going to take this piece of land and you're going to take this piece of land. In Greater Russia, there is not going to be any Russian land that's going into Ukraine from the land that they're giving up. It's just, I want this piece of Ukraine. I'm taking it. Okay, well, you got to do what you got to do. Lindsay will sell my propaganda for me. Get out there, Lindsay. Aunt Lindsay, butchering it up there, acting tough.
What would a good deal look like? Make sure that 2022 doesn't happen again. On Biden's watch and Obama's watch, Russia invades. The goal for me, and I think...
Wait a minute. According to Republicans, Russia didn't invade. It was all instigated by by Ukrainians and Zelenskyy. It was all them. But now he's... God damn. None of these guys can keep their story straight.
President Trump is to end it forever. Now, what would that look like? You'll have some land swaps, but only after you have security guarantees to Ukraine to prevent Russia from doing this again. You need to tell Putin what happens if he does it a third time.
He knows. He's already done it twice before. What in the fresh hell makes you think that he is not going to do a third time? I mean, seriously.
And sanctions that would crush his economy if he ever did this again.
Joe Biden put crushing sanctions on Russia. It did not stop them. And Donald Trump, who was going to clear it up in one day, Putin, knock it off. I'm going to do something really drastic. I'm going to invite you to Alaska, and I'm going to give you the red carpet treatment. And then I'm going to give you everything that you want so we can get peace. You want pieces of Ukraine? You got it. Peace. I just made peace. Look how strong I am. You are a weak bitch that bent over for Vladimir fucking Putin and greased up, ready for fucking penetration. And Lindsey is in line because he wants a bit of that action.
22, we didn't help Ukraine at all. Biden didn't. Militarily, we need to
What are you talking about? We didn't help Ukraine at all. Oh my God, from the very jump when Russia invaded, we were sending them weapons to help them out. Oh, he didn't help at all. What the fuck are you talking about, Lindsey?
Ukraine strong. Keep flowing them strong and modern weapons and security guarantees with European forces.
Do I want this war to continue? Of course not. Do I want to continue to fund this? Of course I don't. I would much rather it not have happened in the first place. I'd much rather it that Putin did not invade Ukraine. But this is the world that we're living in. This is the way it is. But you do not appease an invader by giving them everything that they want. And here's Lindsey Graham going, well, we'll give them everything they want this time, but if they do it again, we're just going to have some harsh words.
On the ground as tripwires to prevent a third invasion. We want to end this with a sovereign, independent, self-governing Ukraine and a situation where Putin cannot do this the third time without being crushed. This is really a dress rehearsal for Taiwan, and as do China. We had a good talk.
Oh, God, the dress rehearsal for that doesn't bode well for Taiwan, does it? If they're worried about a Chinese invasion, you think that Donald Trump is going to get tough? Or is he going to be like, okay, well, how much of Taiwan do you want? I mean, I'm willing to, make a deal. Let's make a deal. The art of the deal, I give the invading country whatever they want in exchange for, I don't know, maybe praising me a little bit, maybe buy some of my Bitcoin, maybe let's get a trade deal. I don't know. If you want a piece of Taiwan, maybe I give you a little piece of Taiwan. As long as we still get our little chips from Taiwan, everything is fine. Taiwanese people, suck it up.
Played golf with the president yesterday. Saturday was the 10-day deadline. China is very much on his mind. He can tell you the top 5 oil purchasers of Ukrainian oil. He knows who they are. And if this doesn't end well with Putin, everybody buying Russian oil and keeping his war machine going in Russia, you're going to pay a heavy price like India.
All right, well.
Oh, God. Man, Lindsey Graham, you are just the water-carryingest little bitch I've ever seen. Lindsey Graham he always wants a daddy. He needs a daddy. His first daddy was John McCain, and he followed him around like he had candy bars shooting out of his ass. And, that was his daddy for a while. And then, and he was always defending John McCain against Donald Trump until John McCain died, and then he had no more daddy. And then he was like, okay, well, maybe Donald Trump can be my daddy, even though that I went on the warpath against him because of the things that he said about John McCain and, You know, what did Trump say? You know, I think that war heroes, I like the war heroes who weren't captured. That sounds really great. You know, I love it when Donald Trump calls military veterans suckers and losers when he faked bone spurs to get out of going into the military like a little bitch. But they're all suckers and losers, and John McCain is not really a hero because he was captured. And Lindsey Graham was really pissed at Donald Trump until he lost his daddy in John McCain, and then he wanted to get a new daddy, and now he has got a new daddy, and Trump is it. And I tell you, he is the greatest golfer I've ever seen. And, you know, when I meet him, he's really nice. He treats me really nice. You know, he tells me I'm pretty. And he brings me out on the golf course and he shows me a really good time. So I don't really hate him as much as I used to. And I think that he's going to make a wonderful deal with Vladimir Putin in giving him everything he wants, just as long as we can continue to make sure that military weapons flow into that country and all of my military contractor friends are getting paid. As long as that happens, then I think that Donald Trump has got this whole Putin Zelenskyy thing all figured out. It's going to be fine. Don't you worry your pretty little head about that. I'm not worried because Donald Trump, he's a good daddy. And like I said, he makes me feel real good and real special and real pretty. So I like Donald Trump. Anyway, can we move on to something else? Because I'd really rather not talk about the third time that Putin is going to invade Ukraine, because you know it's coming, but we're just going to pretend like that's not going to happen. Okay. Anyway, none of these talks bode very well for Zelenskyy or Ukraine. It looks like Donald Trump is absolutely willing to carve up and give away as much of the country that Putin wants. And Donald Trump, who is Mr. Wheelin' and Dealin' tough guy, is going to make Putin's dreams come true. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.